estimation skills in both the customary and metric system regarding length. When we think about the metric system, it does include grams, which is the weight, the mass part of the measurement system, as well as liters, which is the capacity. This time we're going to talk about meters. Meters is the base amount, and then everything within the metric system goes around that. So a millimeter is super small. It is part of a meter. You can think about it as being the thickness of a credit card, which is not very thick at all. That is about 1 milliliter. 1 centimeter, like it says there, is about the metal portion of a pencil top. That's about 1 centimeter. 1 centimeter does equal 10 milliliters, and we're going to learn more about those conversions later. When I look at a typical door, the height of this door from the floor to the doorknob, not the whole door, just to the doorknob, is about 1 meter. 1 meter is the same as 1,000 centimeters. And if you really wanted to get fancy, you could say that 100 centimeter, you could say it's the same as 1,000 millimeters if you really wanted to get fancy. And again, that's just referencing half of this, and we could say to do both of them, be closer to 2 meters. If I want to think of how far is a kilometer is 1,000 meters, 1,000ths of that distances. Most major roads are at least 1 kilometer long. And then when we're thinking about 1 kilometer, you might also think about someone who is running a 5K. If you are any kind of a runner, when you're running a 5K, it's talking about 5 kilometers. That is the same as a customary measurement of 3.1 miles. In the standard system, we use inches. Inches are the parts that break up the ruler. You can use just a bench line marker of your finger to your first joint. That would be about 1 inch for most people. A foot is 12 inches. It's the length of a ruler. A yard is like 3 feet. They're the same thing. It's from the doorknob down to the bottom. So it means that a meter is just about the same thing as a yard. They're actually about 3 inches off. We could get technical as to how many centimeters they are off, but we can say about 3 inches there. And a mile is 5,280 feet. Most roads are measured in miles, and they're some sort of miles long. When we are thinking about the measurement of length using the metric system, I want you to pause the video and say, is this tree about 1 millimeter, a centimeter, meters, or kilometers? What would I use to measure this tree? Which one of these units? And I'm going to think back to these that they had me do. Am I going to measure it in how thick a credit card is by stacking them up? Am I going to measure it by how long is this metal piece? About the width of a door? What measurement there am I going to use to help me understand these? So what I'd like you to do is just take a moment, pause the video, and see if you can answer those, as well as what's the best answer for these down below. Hopefully you had a chance to do that. Here are the answers that I have for you. I'm going to measure these in meters because kilometers are too big, but 7 centimeters are too small. The width of this calculator, I'm definitely going to go with centimeters. That pencil tip, how many pencil tips, metal parts of the pencil long is it, versus how many credit cards can I stack to get there? If I'm looking on traveling some sort of distance from a map, I know I'm going to be traveling in kilometers. And the spider, most of the spiders around my house, not all of them, but most of them I can smash between my 2 fingers, which means I probably could measure that with a millimeters. You might have put centimeters for this, and that would be okay. You probably would only get 1 centimeter, so it wouldn't be very accurate, depending on the size of the spider. So millimeters would get you to the most accurate measurement. Down below, as we look at the soup can, I'm asking you for the height of that. Obviously, if 1 meter measured from the bottom of the door to the door handle, that's going to be too much. 5 milliliters would only be 5 credit cards stacked, so that's not enough. So then you just have to decide between these two, which one is going to be your best option. Is it going to be 50 pencil tops high or 12 pencil tops high? and 12 seems like a reasonable choice for that. Same thing here with meters. Remember, the meter went almost halfway up the door, probably about 3 feet. So it's close to 6 feet for this shark. I know it's not 10 centimeters. I know it's not a kilometer long. And then just trying to think, well, 200 meters, that would be 200 of those distances, and that'd be a pretty big shark. Last but not least, we're looking at a glue stick using that same process of elimination. We came up with millimeters being our best option for that, and which one of those is the best. When we're talking about feet, remember we're going to be talking about the inches being between our fingertip and the knuckle. The feet is the distance up to that door that we had there, or ruler, sorry. The yard is the same as the door, and then miles is the same as the length. And so take a moment to pause the video and figure out of inches, feet, yards, and miles, which ones here would be best. Here are the answers if you had a chance to do that through pausing it. Again, yards would be too much. A foot is a whole ruler. A ruler would stand taller than this can. It's more than just 1 pinky, so it had to be 5 pinky, 5 knuckle lengths high. Even 5 knuckle lengths seems like it might be a little bit small for that, but definitely it's not going to be a foot. So we had to pick which one is the best choice there. 6 yards, if you went back and you noticed that 3 feet was in 1 yard, so 6 yards would be 18 feet. That does seem reasonable for a house to be 18 feet tall. It doesn't make sense that it's a mile tall. That would be huge. The regular door is normally 6 feet, so it can't be that. And 100 inches is actually not as much as you would think. In this case, a chair, you typically as a person stand taller than a chair. So we know it's going to be under 6 feet, which is going to get rid of this 2 yards. It stands taller than a ruler. So then we have these two to choose from. Once we realize that this is like 1.5 rulers, we know what the best option is. So using that, you are going to work on the next few pages in your packet as your homework. And again, today you are just estimating your measurement using some baseline to help you out. Have a great day.